As giants go, they have never measured up. But you can't take the measure of this place by size alone. You'll be cheated if you do. Of the amazing secrets hidden in these woodlands, of the whispered stories that swirl here with the breeze and then wander someplace else. Pass quickly through the cross timbers and you will miss the majesty and the grandeur. You will miss the living antiquity of Oklahoma.
What other state in the eastern United States has got perhaps 100 square miles of ancient virgin forest still left? Maybe more. I know of no other.
And David Stahle knows quite a lot of old trees and the secrets they hold. He's in charge of the University of Arkansas's Tree Ring Laboratory, a delightful, high-ceilinged old place filled with wedges of wood that speak volumes of what came before.
This tree was over 300 years old when they killed it, and they didn't realize, of course, that this tree was older than Arkansas statehood or American democracy.
Weather is the business of the Tree Ring Laboratory. The rings that reach out from seed germination to old age hold definitive proof of drought and flood and fire. They tell of past El Nino events and of earthquakes and tornadoes. Each tree is an encyclopedia of climate history and a harbinger of future weather patterns. But over the years, as he's trekked through the post-oak forests of eastern Oklahoma, David Stahle has come to regard them as something much more than subjects of science. He is awed by them.
You look at these bonsaied, stressed out, gnarled, ancient trees from an entirely different perspective when you realize that they predate American democracy. They predate Oklahoma statehood.
Before Europeans settled and tamed the southern plains, the post and blackjack oak forests known as the cross timbers covered more than 30,000 square miles of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. It remains to this day Oklahoma's largest ecosystem. The vast majority of the surviving trees are from 200 to 400 years old, and among them are giants that have been standing sentinel for 500 and 600 years.
So these are true survivors. And they are the Rodney Dangerfield of ecosystems in Oklahoma because we don't appreciate them for what they really are. This is the Arkansas, this is the historic confluence of the Arkansas and Cimarron River.
The search for Oklahoma's last old-growth forests has moved to outer space.
I mean, the cross timbers is that last frontier of forest.
Alyn Byard scans satellite photos for signs of the ancient survivors.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a person growing old, and they acquire traits about them that are very interesting and say a lot about the life that they led.
They survive today mostly on hillsides. Loggers couldn't reach them there, and that gnarled old wood was never much sought after by the sawmill. The soil that sustains them is poor and thin and filled with sandstone and shale, so they in turn are stunted and slow-growing and to many an eye best used for firewood. But David Stahle says that would be a mistake.
When you begin to realize the true antiquity of these trees, their value to science, and just the fact that they represent an original fragment of native Oklahoma, still today here in our midst.
To misuse them is to misunderstand them, and the stories of their survival and ours, they hold within that weathered old bark. To lose them to sprawl and neglect is to lose our state as it was, to lose the last great untouched forest lands our country has to offer. And who would think they'd be standing in Oklahoma, this place of prairies? Stand on the hilltops with them, and you'll be standing with character, the character of the centuries.